Yo, some books are for knowledge and some you read for entertainment. The same with blogs and magazines. Each word gets you higher and fills you with hope. You're now tuned into the podcast.
Reading is dope.
You're tuned in to the Reading is Dope podcast. Right here on Gillo Boys Radio, where hip hop is life and hip hop is love. This right here is episode 1, the pilot episode, if you will. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about where the idea came from. If you're familiar with the Gillo brand, then you already understand that we've been pushing the Reading is Dope movement for a while now. T-shirts, bookmarks, hoodies. So I thought to myself, you should create a podcast to help expand the movement. So here we are, episode 1.
Reading is dope.
The subject of these podcasts will be to interview different authors, allow them to tell their stories, share some of their experiences, maybe offer some inspiration. On this first episode, I interviewed an author that goes by the name of Bree. This young lady is very accomplished, having published 13 books already. So won't you just sit back and listen to us chit-chat about her career and where she's headed to? You're tuned in to Gillo Boys Radio. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am 25.
Okay.
I've been writing, I want to say, for 3 years. Yeah, I've been writing for 3 years. I currently stay in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas, but I am a military brat, so I move a lot.
Okay.
So I'm actually extremely comfortable with moving a lot. So I think I'm never in one place can stay somewhere. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going next, unless I just buy a house here. But I'm a little iffy on it. Other than that, I'm actually going to try my hand this year at writing some other genres. But for the most part, I do romance.
Romance. So what makes you write romance?
For me, I read books for a happily ever after. I'm never going to read a book that doesn't end good. I feel like that's pointless to me, but that's only in my opinion, just because I'm reading for entertainment.
Right.
I don't need to read to get something that we can get in reality.
So you don't read for knowledge, you just read for entertainment.
Yes, I read for entertainment.
Okay.
That's about it. I mean, right now I'm in school as well, so okay. I'm getting my degree for script writing.
Nice.
And, yeah, I'm trying to branch out, get ready, because I do want to turn at least a few of my books into movies. So that's my goal.
Okay, well, sounds like you're on the right track.
Yes, I'm trying at least.
So have you thought of any scripts other than the scripts based on your books?
I have not actually. I've only thought in the way of let me turn something that I've done into a movie at that. But I think the further I get into it and learn more about it, I'll have an open mind to certain things like that.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that's probably the best way because you already own the story.
Exactly.
So it's not like, I mean, so you're pretty much be licensing your story to a movie theater or a production studio, I should say.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing. So I want to ask you this question. What is the question that you're surprised no one has ever asked you and that you wish someone would ask you about your career?
That's a hard one. Especially since this is my first interview. So I haven't asked too many questions that, that I could say I want to be asked. But maybe, I guess, why?
Why?
Yeah, I'm going to assume why. So why I write.
So why do you write?
For me, I'm a writer just for the simple fact that I feel that there's a lot of women in the world. There's a lot of people that feel they're not worthy of it. So they do everything in the world to avoid love just because they think that they don't deserve it. So that's what I write for. And I know for a fact that, somebody can get something from that. So that's one of my key things is self-worth and healing.
Okay.
So most of my books all provide that.
That's cool. So is there something in your life that maybe led to you wanting to write about healing others?
Well, for me, I'm just naturally kind-hearted.
Okay.
So it's rarely that I, don't do something for someone else. And I think I'll have more of a hard time doing something for myself than anybody else. So that's one thing about me. But for the most part, I wrote it just because a bunch of failed relationships and I'm friends with a bunch of different women and different, levels in life. And they all kind of have that same thing.
So they have like the same story.
Like sort of kind of like everybody, not so much the same story, but, obviously we got the one woman that probably can't have kids.
Right.
So she feel, let me not waste his time. Or, just somebody who gives their all in a relationship, but that still doesn't work.
Okay.
So I'm in contact with so many different types of women who feel unworthy that I was like, let me go ahead and write this out. Because at a point I felt that way. And I was like, you know what? No, I deserve it too. And I'm going to get it,
Right. Okay. So you've written 3 books or do you have more?
No. I have written, I want to say 13.
13. Wow. That's dope. That's dope.
I've written 13.
So how many have you published?
13.
So all 13 of them? Okay.
All 13 of them are published. And then right now I'm in the process of writing 4.
And you've only been writing for 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
All you do is write, huh?
So at this point, it's my full-time thing. Right. I don't clock in or clock out anywhere.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. You got to be dedicated to your craft. And it sounds like that's what you are.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's for sure. Because being an author ain't as easy as everybody would assume.
No, it's not. Like, I've tried my hand in writing.
Listen, it's not easy at all. Trying to get the support, trying to make sure that what you're trying to say to your audience is actually coming across with what you're writing. Right. It definitely takes some planning.
Okay, so of those 13 books, which ones are you currently promoting? Which ones are your newest?
My newest one would be Kiss and Tell. That's the most recent one.
Okay.
The one that came before that would be No Good at Love, and then The Love Pledge. Okay.
So of all 13 of your books, which one is your favorite? Like, which one were you most proud of?
Hands down, Unlove Me. That one is my absolute favorite. I will, if anybody ever asks me, what book should I try from you first? That's the one that I tell people.
That's kind of to break the ice, get to know you.
That's
book.
Break the ice.
Okay. So, which book was that? Like, what number was that?
That one happened last year. It's so hard to tell which one that is. Okay.
Okay.
I want to say maybe it was the 5th book or 6th book.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Look, that's so sad. I'm like, maybe.
I mean, it's not sad. You 13 books in.
It was either the 5th or 6th. We're going to go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of expected you to say the first one.
Really?
Yeah, because the first book is like your first time doing it. It's like.
Yeah, but then you also feel, dang, I could have did this better. Or I could have told my characters better.
True. I definitely understand that. I'm a perfectionist. Like when I'm mixing or whatever project I'm working on,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? I could do this better or I could do that better.
Like you just like, oh no, this could have been like this, but it didn't work that way. So you know what? I'm gonna try again in the next one.
Right. So are any of the stories like connected?
You mean like series?
Yeah, or are they just separate stories?
So my first set of books is a series. That was what I started with, which is the May Sisters, which was just like a story about three girls. They were sisters, obviously. I wrote that one, I guess, centered around my sisters, just because we all have a tight-knit relationship.
Right.
And I was like, this would be something I can easily, write out, because me and my sisters are super tight like that. So I wrote that one. It took me a while. And then after I wrote that series, I was like, yeah, I see why I don't write series. I shouldn't do this again. I did one other series after that, which is I Won't Lose the Love Again. It was a part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
But after that, that was it.
So what's the biggest challenge about writing a series?
For me, it's my attention span.
Okay.
My attention span is horrible, meaning I can start something and finish it, but the minute people start asking for like second books to it, or another character that's connected to it, my mind is already on something else. Like, I'm already ready to leave this group of people alone. I don't want to talk about this no more. I'm on to something new.
Right.
Y'all, let's just move on. Let's go this way. We don't want to talk about them no more.
All right, I understand that. Yeah, you definitely have to have a long attention span to develop each character as far as a whole nother theme and a whole different story.
Oh, and it's like when I write them in my mind to completion. But I find it to be really good, though, when readers do ask for another book, because it means I did my job.
Right, okay. So before you come up with characters, do you flesh them out? Like, do you take John and then write everything about John, write his backstory, write everything, so that you have an idea of how they connect to each other, like each character?
Well, for me, so let me use the May Sisters as an example. When I thought of them, like I said, I connected it to my sisters. So I was just like, 3. Okay. 3 is like a very special number to me, so I always use it. So I picked 3 people. I was just like, okay, you know what? I'll name one character after my mom. I'll name another one. Just, because I like the name. I kind of just came up with things randomly. And I had 3 names at that point. Once I had the 3 names, I was like, okay, which one of these fit this personality? So I branched it off in that way. I always start with the names first.
Okay, so you take the
names. And
the
type of attitudes that I would think they would have. So usually I pick names based on the type of character I'm thinking I'm going to work on. So if I know my character is sassy, she's not going to have a name like Beth.
She's going to have Keisha.
Oh, she's sassy. We're going to get her something with some spice to it.
Like what?
Okay, so I took one chance on writing urban fiction. Now, this is the only book I have that has shooting, killing people in it.
Okay.
It's the only book I have like that, which is the I Won't Lose the Love Again, part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
Now, those girls' names were Lavanka and Alina.
Okay.
But they were out there. Alina is very pretty, but Lavanka is,
Yeah, Lavanka's different.
Yeah. But let me tell you something, they weren't no joke.
Hey,
but it was a fun series though. But that's kind of what I mean. I made the names fit who they were.
So since those 2 you say were the only urban fiction, how would you classify the other 11?
Those are purely just romance.
Just romance.
Those ones, yeah. Those ones are romance and women's fiction.
Oh, okay.
Only reason I would say women's fiction is because in all of my books, I push heavily for a growth in the woman. It's not always 100% centered around her finding love all the time. It sometimes ties into her finding love for herself first.
So typically the main character in each of your books are women?
Typically, yes. For the most part, 100% they are women.
Okay. Have you ever tried creating a male main character?
I have not, but it is on my agenda. It's on my to-do.
Yeah, I mean, it could challenge you. It may push you to stretch your skills a bit further.
I do. Like I said, I do have an outline for one that does have a male main character. I just have to get into it.
Right.
But
okay.
It's there.
Okay, so it's in the works.
It works. It's there. It has an outline and everything. I just have to do it. Cover, all of that.
And now for a brief word from one of our sponsors.
Reading is dope.
Is that a Gilligear tea?
Yes, it is.
Where did you get that from?
Raheem's Beauty Supply.
In Carbondale?
Yeah, you're right. Right across from WDVX.
I'm headed there right now.
Gilligear merchandise at Raheem's Beauty Supply, 110 East Oak Street, Carbondale, Illinois. So, which of your books would be the first one that you made into a movie?
The one that I think would be the most successful, commercially, The Love Pledge, because it was such a far-fetched idea. Just the fact that some woman is writing out 10 pledges that she plans to do if she finds the right man.
Right.
And then she goes through all of this. She writes it like a magazine. She does this whole like blog series where it's like following her dating multiple different people to find the right man. And that's kind of the era we're in right now with a lot of online dating and just things like that. So that one would definitely be the first one.
So are you currently working on the script for it?
For that one, not yet, just because I want to make sure I'm knowledgeable about what I'm doing before I do it.
Right. Okay. I can definitely understand that. So,
yes. I want to make sure I'm knowledgeable before I get there.
Right. So have you published any of your books in audiobook format?
I have. Unlove Me. Unlove Me is an audio format.
So both of them?
That's the only one. Unlove Me is the only book I have in audio format.
But wasn't Unlove Me a series?
Nope. Unlove Me was a standalone.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's the one that I said was my favorite.
Okay, right. Okay, so I think I may have asked you this in some form. Of everything you've done, what means the most to you and why?
Yep, so you did ask me that one, but you didn't ask me why. So
Okay.
I'll tell you. So the one that I worked on the most, like I said, the one that's my favorite is Unlove Me. Now, the only reason that it's my favorite is just because at that time, obviously I am fairly young. I'm only 25 for the most part. And when I went through last year, I went through my first heartbreak ever. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had my feelings hurt, but I've never had my feelings hurt like that. Okay. So that right there, I was like, okay, only way I'm going to get past it is if I write it. So Unlove Me has a ton of true events inside of it. So it was the only way that I could heal myself. Once I got done writing it, I felt so much lighter. So I appreciate that project more than anybody will understand because I didn't write it for them. I wrote it for me.
So it was like real therapeutic.
Yeah, like I did not write that book for nobody but myself. I just decided to share.
So do you think it connected with people? Like how well do you think it connected?
I think it connected very well. That's actually the book that I have the most reviews on.
Okay.
That's the book that people message me about and say that they're a fan because of me, because of that book. And then from that point forward, that's the one that really kind of changed my career around a little bit.
Do you believe it changed your writing style?
I do think it did because it helped me to get more in tune with my feelings, to feel a little bit more deeply, to express what I'm feeling and what these characters are feeling a little bit more so that the readers can feel it too.
Yeah, you know, they say heartbreak is the fuel for creativity.
It is. I'm telling you, I cried throughout that whole book.
It was like a state of catharsis.
I'm telling you, that's one book I will tell you that there's real stuff in it. It's real stuff that I wrote out, like not embellishing it, not doing anything. There's parts in there that I have not embellished at all. I told exactly how I remembered it. And it turned out to be so good. Someone actually messaged me about it yesterday and told me that it's helping her on her healing journey. And I was like, that's all I wanted.
Right. That's nice. So when you set out to write, did you write with the intention of helping women grow, or did you kind of just grow into that?
I mean, I think in the beginning I was writing that way naturally because I was still trying to show myself that I was worthy of love.
Right.
But I didn't know.
Okay.
So I think in the beginning I was doing it without knowing. But now that I've gotten more comfortable and having written longer and I know the ins and outs and what's expected to build yourself a brand, I'm like, oh, okay. This is what I've been doing all this time. I didn't pay it no attention. It's laid out right in front of me.
You just kind of fell into your niche.
There it go. Yeah. That's how it kind of happened. I was just like, okay. I didn't just slip right on in on it. Okay. This is what I've been doing this whole time.
That's what's up. Are you familiar with the dope concept as it pertains to Gilla Boys Radio?
No, I've heard of that.
Okay, so DOPE is an acronym. It stands for Dreams, Opportunities, Purpose, and Education. It's all about following your dreams, embracing opportunities to find your purpose and seek education.
Right.
So it's kind of like the whole essence of the brand is built upon what you just said. You know, you kind of just fell into your purpose, and now you're using your purpose to help other people, to inspire other people.
Exactly. That's cool. I've never heard of it that way.
Oh, well, thanks. No, what's cool is you. That's dope. I really like that.
Yeah, it's something I like I said, it was not planned. But that's for sure.
The best things in life aren't planned.
That is so true. That's very, very true. Nothing I'm doing right now was ever in my plans. So
what were your plans initially?
For me at first, okay, so because I'm so out there, I've been in school for like forever trying to figure it out.
Right.
I've jumped from like 4 different majors. At one point, I was trying to be a nurse, but then I realized you have to wipe somebody else's backside. And I don't think that I'm capable of that.
Okay. At least you know what you won't do.
Listen, I said, I don't know. If it's dire or straight, I'll do it, but I don't think I would want to do this every day.
Right.
So I went past that. And after that, I went into it and I was like, okay, well, I know I like to draw because I can draw really well. Well, at least I used to. But when you don't use it, sometimes you lose it.
True.
But I used to draw very good. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I go be a fashion designer? So then I start and I go and I took classes for that. Loved it. School was way too expensive. So I was just like, you know what? I started thinking logically. I'm like, I'm being so much debt. How am I going to get a job? So I left that alone. And then I went for business management and marketing. Now, that there was, it wasn't a passion of mine, but I knew if I had any degree in business or marketing, you can get a job anywhere.
True.
So that was my mindset. I just never finished it because I was bored with it. And then I transferred over, and then now I'm doing creative and script, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I know this is it.
And you know what? I definitely understand that because I went through a couple majors myself before falling on something that really appealed to me, which was psychology and mass communications. It connected with me. So I definitely feel you. Okay, so you say you read mostly romantic books, correct?
Well, no, I write mainly romantic, but I read fantasy. I love fantasy and paranormal books. Love them. Like when I say love, I mean that's actually my favorite genre to even read. If I had the choice, I would always pick that first.
Right. So have you ever tried writing a paranormal book? Like a paranormal romance or something?
You know, that's a great question because I actually have that's part of the 3 books that are in the works.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have one that I should be finished with by Friday.
Okay.
This is crossing of my fingers.
Okay.
But I should be finished by Friday. That's my goal. And I did take my chance, and I got a couple friends. I don't know if you've heard of Anita L. Jackson.
Not offhand.
Well, she's a great paranormal urban writer. She's bomb, amazing writer. Me and her good friends, and I sent over what I had so far to her, just so I can, get her feedback, because that's her genre. That's really what she masters, is in that area.
Right.
She was like, I'm gonna need you to stop sending me stuff. This is natural for you. This is really, really good. What are you waiting on? I was like, well, I'm nervous. I write romance. She was like, so? She was like, I really think this is your genre. You need to go ahead and finish it and put it out and stop being scary. I'm like, okay, you're right. You're right. So I went ahead and I just got further into it, and now I'm almost done.
Okay. That's what's up.
So we shall see how this goes, because it's a new genre for me. I'm nervous, but at this point, I wrote it just because I like it.
Right. And you know what? For real, a lot of times when you write what you like, or when you do anything for the love of it, you tend to bring out your best self.
Exactly. So that's why I said I'm not going to put too much stress into it. If nobody don't like it, I do.
Right. I mean, and it's just you expanding on your skill set.
That is very true. So that's why I said I'm just going to try something else. And it's coming natural to me, to the point where I didn't even have to really outline like I do with romance.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I'm looking forward to it. I downloaded those 3 books you gave away on your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to check those out. I wanted to check them out before our interview so I can maybe talk about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Make the interview a little more substantial. But I didn't get to it. I'm sorry. Okay, so
I basically talked about.
True.
It's Unlove Me, I Won't Lose the Love Again, and The Love Pledge. Those are the 3 I gave.
Okay. Yeah, I downloaded those.
See, now you know what I'm talking about when you read it.
Yeah, I have a better understanding. And see, that's kind of the point of the podcast too, so that people can understand the author. So when they start reading the books, they might have a deeper understanding of the characters in the books.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think it's going to be a dope little series. Like I said, this is episode 1.
Right. Well, it's all trial and error. I'm excited to be the first one, so.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I told you before.
Reading is a way to live out your dreams. Cause reality ain't always what it seems. Reading is a path to opportunity. It can build bridges between you and me. Reading is a way to find your purpose. Cause you know you're more than what they see on the surface. Reading is a way to seek education. It stimulates your mind and increases contemplation. That's why reading is dope.
All right, so do you have any favorite authors? If so, who?
Okay, let's see here. For me, I would, off the top of my head, 100%, I'm gonna go with C Monet. She is amazing. C Monet, Be Love. Everybody knows who Be Love is. She's really good. Like I said, Anita. Anita's very, very good. Anita L. Jackson.
Okay.
And I had to choose one more. I would say either, I'm going to say Nisi P.
Nisi P?
Yeah. Oh, and Christina C Jones. Those are my top 5.
Okay. So
if any of them have something, I'm getting it. Hands down.
Okay, no problem. So what?
And it's one more. Siobhan Latrice. And then that's it.
Siobhan Latrice?
Yes, that's it. She dropped something, I'm buying it.
That's real. That's cool. So do y'all have a group? Because I mean, that would be tight if y'all had a tight knit writing group or something. And you guys can.
Let me tell you something. They got groups, and I'm around there fangirling like I'm one of the biggest reader fans in the world. In their groups, oh my goodness, when this book dropping?
That's cool.
Oh yeah, no, they all have their own individual groups and all that good stuff.
So what kind of authors are they? I know you mentioned Anita was a paranormal writer.
Yeah, she does fantasy and paranormal, and she does urban. C Monet is more so, she kind of on her own lane. She's a romance and kind of urban vibe to her.
Okay.
But it's ultimately romance, but it does have a gritty vibe to it. But she's really good. Then Christina C Jones, she's romance. Be Love, romance. Hers is a little gritty to it as well, but she's romance, self-love, that type of deal.
Okay.
And Siobhan Latrice, urban fiction. Actually the only urban fiction author that I'll drop everything I got going on to read. The only one. Because I'm not really a big fan of it too much.
Right.
Like, I like urban fiction, I do, but I won't go out my way to find it.
Okay.
But for her, I will.
That's cool.
And I think that's the only one. Oh, and ECP is paranormal and fantasy.
Paranormal and
And
fantasy.
she has urban as well.
So, like, do you ever watch shows like Supernatural, things like that?
I watch. I'm a big Marvel fan.
Okay.
I watch a lot of, like, I watch the Justice League. I watch more so kind of like I watch Vampire Diaries. I watch the originals. Anything with a little bit of flair to it, I'm watching it.
Okay. So, do you prefer DC or Marvel?
Marvel, hands down.
Who's your favorite character in Marvel?
Honestly, my absolute favorite would have to be Thor.
Thor? Why?
I just like him.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because he's so cocky, but I think that's it. But I really love him. I did cry though when Iron Man,
When he died in the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
did
was...
cry at the movie theater, boo-hooing with everybody else.
Right. It was a very emotional time.
I was boo-hooing with everybody else in the movie theater.
I mean, I was in my feels a little bit, but I'm looking around like, damn.
Who else in here crying?
Right, y'all sound like we had a funeral or something.
Yeah, look, that was a good. Those Avengers, those set of movies were good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like my style a little bit. I prefer hands down. If anything like that is going on, I'm reading it. I mean, I'm watching it or whatever the case be. I like Underworld.
Okay.
That's a good series.
I don't think I've seen that one. Is it? It's paranormal?
Those are a great set of. It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie. How many
Underworld
is it?
is like, I think it got to be like four movies. I want to say.
Okay, I might have to check those
four.
out.
They're really good. You'll really like it.
Cool. All right. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your writing career?
I would say growing my readers. Like, it's hard to get people to take a chance on you.
Right.
Sometimes, especially when you're new, or maybe you're taking a little longer to figure out who your people actually are. And what I mean by your people, I mean the people looking for what you're providing.
Your target audience.
There we go.
Okay.
So when it takes you a while when you first start writing because, I just want to write a book. But then when things start to happen, when you get further into it, you're like, okay, I'm writing now, but I'm not writing for everybody because you're not going to please everybody.
Correct.
That's not realistic.
Correct.
Some people are not going to like anything that you put out. And some people going to love every single book you put out, and they're going to be there supporting every release. So that's what the hardest part is figuring out how to locate those people and get us all in one space.
So who is your target audience, your target reader?
For me, my target reader would probably be someone who works like a 9 to 5. They work and they have kids. It will be a woman for sure. Maybe she's dating. Maybe she's a single mom. I want to say that single mom who's dating, who needs a break. Because my books, like I said, are all about growth, self-healing, just different things like that. So my people will fall in that range.
Okay.
Maybe someone who want to break from what's going on in their everyday life, or they want to take a moment and they want to fantasize about having this amazing man who's there for them,
Right.
So that's that's definitely what I would think my target reader is.
Sounds like you have it pinpointed. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you got to.
You do.
You got to figure it out.
So you can know exactly who you're writing for.
Right. I know for sure I'm writing for single ladies, because if I wasn't, I'd be writing a little bit different storylines. But it's definitely for single women.
Okay, so what advice would you give to an aspiring author?
To figure out your why.
Right.
If you don't know why you're doing this, you will quit. You will quit.
Man,
hands down.
That's with a lot of stuff too.
Listen, if you don't figure out why you're even doing this, I'm telling you, because it's so many things. Those bad reviews are going to get you down.
Mm-hmm.
Those, the fact that ain't nobody reading your book like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to get you down.
Man.
If you don't know why you even doing this, to go take a step back, sit down, figure it out. Because that's when you're going through all that stuff, you need that.
Right. And to take that even further, you have to have a strong enough why.
Yes. Because if you're just writing because you want to, you're going to quit.
Mm-hmm. Because that why isn't propelling you. Like
No.
I read somewhere that your why, your purpose, should be your alarm clock. It should get you up out of the bed.
Exactly.
Every morning to do what you have to do, because it's just that your purpose is that strong. You're that compelled to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
It sounds like you know your why, and that's a blessing.
I do. I'm telling you, it's been keeping me going for these couple of years and pushing me to rejuvenate myself and keep trying.
Okay. So, what was the last book you read?
The last book I read was The Reinvention of the Rose by Christina C Jones.
And what was that about?
Ooh, that book was so good. Okay, so basically it's about like an ex-agent. So she used to like kill people and things like that. Okay. Like, I guess in a way, she basically retires. So now she has to figure out who she is. She has to figure out who she is without the fake names, without the fake, just everything that the role she has played over time. She has to figure out what she personally as Tempest that she really likes. And when I tell you, it was a beautiful journey of self-discovery that I really liked to read. She ended up meeting like a neighborhood guy. He was a tattoo artist, and he was very genuine and patient enough to allow her that time to figure it out without knowing what she was actually trying to figure out. Because, she wasn't going to tell him, oh, yeah, I used to kill people.
Like, yeah, I'm going to go this way.
You know what? You handle that.
You go do you, young lady.
Right. You got it. But that one was a really good book. I would suggest that to anybody.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Would you have anything else that you want to add that we may have not touched on?
No, I feel like we hit all the points.
Oh, okay.
We didn't miss nothing, but I do say y'all be on the lookout for that fantasy book.
Okay.
Since it will. I'm going to try to put it out this month, but I want to make sure it's just right. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay. So I do have something else. Where can they find you? Like, where can people find you?
Gotcha. So I do have a website. My website is AishaBree.com. I have a readers group, which is Bree's Book Talk. Honestly, we all talk in there all the time. It's about self-worth. I'm trying to boost my ladies up in there.
Okay.
We're in there talking about different types of books, just different things like that. That's some of the easiest places to find me. In Instagram, I've been getting my handle on Instagram lately. So that's been really flowing really well for me. So
you just kind of started with Instagram marketing?
Yes, because Instagram is a little trickier than Facebook. If you're not targeting the right, tags and things like that, you don't know who you talk to.
Okay. Have you ever checked out LinkedIn Learning?
I have not.
Actually,
no. I'm doing that through my school too.
LinkedIn Learning?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you already have an account with the school, probably, you should get on there and check it out, because they have tutorials about Instagram marketing, Facebook marketing. It's very deep. They have a lot of tutorials that you may want to check out that will benefit you in the long run. They actually have a script writing tutorial. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Listen, I'm definitely going to try that.
No doubt. So another thing I plan on doing, because I have some Reading is Dope t-shirts, and I'm going to give you a t-shirt as well for, participating. And I also, cause I want you to take a picture in it so we can use that to kind of promote your episode.
Oh, of course. Definitely.
So I'll keep you posted. What'd you say?
I said, I appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt. We gotta stick together. You know what I'm saying? I read somewhere, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just got to link up with like-minded individuals and keep pushing.
Exactly. We're all on the same journey.
Indeed. So, there's nothing else. Then I want to thank you once again for taking the time to talk to me and share your story.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Hey, do me one last favor. Say, you're tuned in to Gilla Boys Radio.
And what? Say it for me one more time.
Say, this is Aisha Bree, and you're tuned in to Gilla Boys Radio.
All right. Well, this is Aisha Bree, and you're tuned into Gilla Boys Radio.
No doubt.
Reading is dope.